how do you partake in activism without being pushy? I feel like non-vegans call vegans pushy because they just want to be comfortable. They don't want to be held accountable, and they don't want to be asked questions. They don't want to have to stop and think about their actions. That's why they call you pushy. When it comes to doing cubes, especially what we do, we are just standing in the middle of a street doing our own thing, and we wait for people to come to us. So when somebody approaches us and they're watching the footage and they're asking questions, or we approach them, we only engage with people that are interested in having a conversation. Even though they might be interested at the start, and then they might get uncomfortable and defensive and they may want to run away, that's fine, but we only engage with those who are interested to begin with. It's not like we're running after them, we're chasing people down the street and we're like, come here, come have a conversation with us. So they actually come to us and we start the conversation. And then at some point, or this might happen online as well, if people feel too uncomfortable, because again, you're holding them accountable and they have to look at their own actions and they have to be honest with themselves, even if they don't admit it, deep down, if they are being honest, and they can see the hypocrisy, then they're going to start feeling uncomfortable, because it is uncomfortable. So then the way many people deal with that discomfort is to call you pushy and just ask you to shut up. And they'll be like, just be vegan. If you want to be vegan, and respect my choice. I respect your choice to be vegan. You have to respect, this is my journey, blah, blah, blah. So it's not that you're doing anything wrong. You should be speaking up in a way that, if you were in the animal's position, you would have wanted someone to speak up for you. So you don't want to dilute the message. You don't want to be too soft. You don't want to be walking on eggshells around people, try not to bother them and not to offend them and things like that, because this is an injustice you're speaking up against. So of course you need to be strong about it. That makes people uncomfortable. That's why they call you pushy. It's got nothing to do with you. You need to continue speaking up for the animals the way they deserve it, whether it's online, engaging in a conversation, or on the street, whatever form of activism you're doing, telling people the truth and not backing down. For example, let's say you're at a cube, you're showing them the footage and they feel awful, and then you hold them accountable and you bring them to the conclusion that they're a hypocrite for supporting what they're saying they're against. Because most people say, I'm against animal cruelty, and then you ask them, they're like, yes, I do eat chicken and fish sometimes, for example. And then at some point in that conversation, that person might say, okay, I'm going to go vegetarian for a while, or I'm going to start my journey to veganism. If you say as an activist that's not good enough and explain to them why, then they're going to label you as pushy, because they're going to be like, well, why can't you just be happy that I'm making steps in the right direction? Again, because you're making them feel uncomfortable, because it's like a big change to them and they're not ready to commit to that. So they're going to blame you for it. They're going to try to make you feel bad and call you pushy or annoying. But that's only because you're doing the right thing. So being pushy just means being persistent and assertive, and that's what it is. So continue doing what you're doing.